Well, welcome back to another video, guys. I'm finally back home in Las Piñas, and as you saw in my last video, I finally finished this Operation Orgazalic Hall, which means that I am back home in my hometown. So yeah, anyways, you saw the title. It's my opinion about Eurovision 2025 first semi-finals. And I actually woke up at 2:50 a.m. or actually 2:55 a.m. just to view the show at 3 a.m. So if you're wondering why am I doing this, because I am taking the opportunity to watch Eurovision, because last year and 2 years ago, when the first time I've heard about Eurovision and the first time I've wanted to watch Eurovision, there was school was happening throughout May, and then that happened for the same year as well, last year. Though I did watch the semi-finals in school, but I get interrupted every time. So now, since this year school has ended much earlier in April, and there's no school throughout the month of May and June, actually, I have taken the opportunity to wake up at 2:55 a.m. to view the show at 3 a.m. until 5 a.m. and the grand final from 3 a.m. until 7 a.m. because the grand final will have 25 countries. Meanwhile, the semi-finals have 15 countries, and in every of the semi-final, one of the countries from the Big Five will perform. So last night I watched Spain, Italy perform along with Switzerland. Okay, so let me explain a bit. What is the Big Five? So in Eurovision, there's these countries called the Big Five, and they auto qualify for the grand final because they fund the contest a lot, like they're the biggest donators, they're the biggest funders, like Twitch, when you get promoted to mod because you donate a lot to your favorite streamer. So Italy, Spain, the UK, France, Germany, Big Five plus the winner, so technically Big Six. And since Switzerland won last year and they're hosting this year, they're auto qualified for the final, since they've done all the preparations, they've done all the things, so of course they would qualify for the final. I think that's a perfectly justified thing, but having the Big Five, not so, because why? I mean, I get Switzerland, they did the whole thing, they prepared for the whole thing, so of course they deserve to qualify because they've put a lot of money into this. But I don't get why why the Big Five was made. But anyways, that's how it is. So yeah, I want to go through each of the shows that I've watched earlier at 3 a.m. and it was so great. It's like I just had to wake up and watch it, and I'm glad I took that opportunity because it was the best in the 2 years that I've been watching, and it's because it's my first time watching it without any interruption at home, the comfort of my sofa. So let's start off first with the first country, Iceland, with Róa, which is row in English. So basically the one who sang Róa was Vibe. They are brothers, and very much they've qualified for the final, and I think it's great because all the hype about the song, and plus they really interact a lot with their fans, and they just meme all about Eurovision and their participation. And then next is Poland with Gaia, a song about the goddess of Earth, Gaia, and this was sang by Justina, I cannot pronounce her last name, sorry, but this was sang by Justina, who also participated in the past years, and I really liked the performance. It was just The next is Slovenia. It was really emotional. I ended up crying in the end because the guy's wife got on stage. So basically the song is How Much Time Do We Have Left, and it's sang by Clement. So basically the song is about, you know, spending your last moments with that special person or whatever. I don't know if it's based on real life events, but hopefully not. I really did love the end part where the wife came on the stage and then everyone was cheering. Unfortunately they did not get qualified, but that was really beautiful. Then next is Estonia, which actually made me laugh a lot after that emotional performance from Slovenia. So Estonia has a song from Tommy Cash called Espresso Macchiato. Basically it's I don't know, I was just laughing at the song. I don't know what else to say. It was funny, and in the song there was a stage invasion. It was actually not really a stage invasion, it's staged. By staged I mean they planned to do this. And I think what gave it up is that so like Tommy Cash's backup dancers, they tried to stop the so-called stage invader. So I guess she was part of the act because someone said that it's staged, but maybe in the grand final. I don't know if it would happen again in the grand final. If it does happen again in the grand final, then it's staged. But if it just happened for semi-final, then it's probably not staged. Next up is Spain. Well, they performed because why not? They performed along with Italy and Switzerland. They've been doing this since 2021 actually. The big five performing plus the winner in the semi-finals, you know, to make it seem fair, but obviously it's still not fair because they qualified for the final. Up next is Ukraine with Bird of Prey by Zifferblatt. It's a song about two couples who got separated during the war. You know, they still make songs about war in Ukraine, and I think that's really cool. Like, you know, but I feel like they only get qualified throughout the years because of the current geopolitical situation. But either way, it was a great song. Next is Sweden, my absolute favorite, with their song Bada Bada Bastu, which means by Kai, which means only bathe in the sauna. And the Swedish people, they have their own word for sauna, which is bastu, which literally means bathing house. And I really like this song. I danced along, I sang along. I was crazy. Next up is Portugal with Desolado by Napa, which is a song about missing your hometown, and it was great. And prior to the semi-final last night, like days before prior, well, I actually liked the song. I kept listening to it, and I kept seeing some TikTok videos about it where, you know, I saw this one where they had the song playing, and then when they put on their earphones, they get transported back to Madeira or something, and that was so cool. Up next is Norway with Lighter by Kyle Alessandro. So I really like the vocals. I really like the part after, like when he did that, but there's a fire burning too, like when he did that high note. If you watched last night, you know what I mean. Honestly, it's a great performance, and I'm glad he got qualified. Up next is Belgium with Strobe Lights by Red Sebastian. I thought the whole show would be strobing lights, but no. In the end though, they did give everyone epilepsy. Next up is Italy, who's already qualified in the grand final. I love their performance actually, and I forgot his name, but his name is Lucio, I think. Oh yeah, I wanna talk about Spain later. By the way, so sorry, I forgot Spain. But I really loved his performance, and for some reason, his performance is the only one with subtitles. And I think my friend said it's probably for deaf people, and I think that's a nice touch. But the others have no subtitles, despite their songs being in their native language or in their native tongue. But I really think it's a nice touch for Italy. I think that's really cool. And then I want to talk about Spain now with Esa Diva by Melody. I almost thought we were getting a France 2023 performance, but I was wrong. I thought she was like on top, being lifted like by this cake thingy. But no, she wasn't. And overall, the performance was great. I really loved it. Next up is Azerbaijan. I don't really know what to say. It's like the Caucasus region is a bit meh this year, except for Armenia. San Marino is next with their song Tutta l'Italia, which means all of Italy, by Gabri Ponte. And if you don't know who Gabri Ponte is, he's the guy who made I'm Blue da ba dee da ba da. Yes, he made that thing, and he's a DJ, and he's part of this band called Eiffel 65. But yeah, he made that song because he's the producer for that song. And I still can't believe he's actually in the contest, and he got qualified as well. So this is the first time I've seen San Marino qualify since 2021. 2021 they got sent hit in Florida, the American singer. And then up next is Albania with Tiarm by oh no, I forgot their name. Please comment it down below. I know who they are, but I forgot their name. Overall, the performance was just great. I'm glad they actually got qualified. And then in their national final performance, they actually have this like Rolex drum pad thing where they would like beat it with a stick, obviously, so it would make a sound or a clap sound. I don't know what you call that. So they have this Roland drum pad in the middle, but in the main performance they did not have a Roland drum pad. I thought they were tapping into something that I could not see, but actually they had a big prop in the middle and they were tapping onto that thing, and I was just confused, like, what? Up next is Netherlands with C'est la vie by I forgot his name, but he's a Dutch Congolese artist. So he's Congolese. He made the song in French. Well, actually not in French, in English. And someone said he's like the Stromae of Netherlands or something. Stromae is Belgian. What did they say? Stromae of Belgium. Stromae is Belgian. He's like a Stromae of the Netherlands or something. And I was just like, I mean, kind of true. But I heard him speak Dutch in the most Dutch way possible. So why did he not make the song in Dutch? I have no idea. Up next is Croatia with Poison Cake. I forgot his name as well. I did not like it, to be honest. They had like Polish staging effects, if you know what I mean. They had like the camera, there was a shaking effect, and I did not like that. It was not visually pleasing. I did not like that at all. And up next is Switzerland, who's again the host this year and already qualified because they're the host. I really loved their performance, and I really loved their song and the artists themselves. I think I like their song Voyage by Zoeme. So a little bit of a backstory. Zoeme is actually from Basel, which is the host city. I think that's really cool that they chose someone from Basel, and she's from the German-speaking part of Switzerland. And she actually, while she was growing up, she learned how to speak French, because from what I know, Basel was near the Herstigraben, which is this imaginary border between the German-speaking and the French-speaking Swiss. So yeah, Well, since she's trilingual, she made a song in French, and I actually looked into her artist profile in Spotify, and she has a song in German, but I haven't listened to it yet, unfortunately. Though I'll give it a try. And one more thing about Switzerland's performance. There was one thing that I did not like, and I did not like this. I liked the song, I liked everything, I liked the performance. There was one thing I did not like: the camera feed. It was glitching in the last part, and I was like, what is happening? Is it me? No. But then I just saw them switch to a much larger feed of a camera where they could see the whole crowd. Then I instantly knew that it was actually their problem. So thankfully it was not my internet, or else I would actually be so furious if it was my internet. Next is Cyprus, which is the last country to perform in the semi-final. And I don't really know what to say about Cyprus. I think the performance was great, but unfortunately they did not qualify, and my friend was disappointed that they did not get qualified. And the interval acts, I have to say, the Swiss know what to do. So in the interval act, they had Petra Meda to come out in one of their interval acts, and it was so iconic, and I really love that they got Petra Meda to perform, and I really like that. And the next one got a bit emotional because I was Celine Dion. If you don't know, Celine Dion performed for Switzerland in Eurovision back in 1988 with her song Ne partez pas sans moi, and unfortunately she could not perform for this year's Eurovision since it's back in Switzerland. She had a message though, saying that she really wanted to perform, but unfortunately she cannot. She has health problems. And what followed after that was beautiful. So four artists from last year, Greece, Ukraine, Portugal, Lithuania. Greece, Marina Sati. Ukraine, Jerry Hale. Portugal, Iolanda. And Lithuania, Sylvester Belt. They performed her song Ne partez pas sans moi as a tribute, because again she couldn't go to the final. And overall, I just really love the whole show. They had an interval act on Swiss things, Swiss inventions. I did not know electric guitars were a Swiss invention. Peelers were a Swiss invention, because the Swiss actually have this potato pancake thing called rösti, and I made rösti myself, and maybe they used a peeler to make the rösti. So now it makes sense why peelers came from them. They said the internet also came from them. I don't know if that's true, because from what I know, Wi-Fi is Aussie, mate. So yeah, that's my honest opinion about this year's Eurovision. It was great. Well, not this year's, like whole Eurovision. It was great. The first semi-final was great. Now I'm just gonna wake up again at 2:55 a.m. in a Friday to watch the second semi-final, where there's Australia, Finland, Malta, basically all the other countries not mentioned in here. And I will just say the ones that got qualified. So Iceland, Poland, Estonia, Ukraine, Sweden, Portugal, Norway. Wow, everyone in the first half got qualified. San Marino, Albania, Netherlands, they're all qualified. Congratulations to you. And I can't wait for the grand final. Anyways, that's the video for now. Thank you so much for watching this, and I'll see you in the next video in the second semi-final. And goodbye.